Xylos, back to Pi. Perspective is everything. Today's topic is truth. To understand truth, you need to understand where it comes from. The world we live in is full of truth. It's everywhere. It's embedded in our reality. It is truth we put our faith in, and the lack of truth or the loss of truth that devastates us. I like to describe truth as one of the pillars of reality, if you will. Um, it's an idea that helps form the world around us and keeps us all sane. Without truth, everyone would be lying and it would just be chaos. Truth in its own name cannot be false. It is everything correct and true about the world that we live in. Truth is my favorite because it gives stability to life and it keeps me sane, it keeps my soul protected, mostly because it cannot change. This absolutism gives me comfort to my soul, like honestly. Goes without saying that false statements can easily be proven false by any amount of truth you throw at it, if you can find the truth and the correct truth to throw at it. What perhaps is maybe most fascinating is that truth cannot change, or it cannot gain anything false. Truth in its own right is truth. When we make a discovery, whether in philosophy or in some sort of science like in space or in the ocean, we are not creating more truth. We are, in fact, uncovering it. Because truth was always there. Like, um, that fish, before you found that particular species, was always there before you found it. Or that animal that you found, that's a new species, it didn't just suddenly exist when you found it. It was always there. Kind of like how a miner goes into a mine shaft, and when he mines the gold, it's not like poof, suddenly the gold is there. It's always been there. He just had to uncover it. He had to do research. He had to find it. This discovery does not alter the truth any more than a miner creates gold when he uncovers it. Truth has always been and always will be, like when Isaac Newton discovered gravity by the apple falling on him. It's always been there. People have seen thing drops all the time. It's when he finally uncovered it was the key. What's even more interesting is even though truth cannot change, it does not shift, but it can grow. Um, for instance, like through a perspective, the more someone's perspective grows, the more their mind grows, in a sense, the more uh, the larger truth becomes because um, the truth was not and then is not. Like, you don't, it is a truth if you like something, if something is your favorite, but before that, it was not truth because you did not know it existed. But one could argue that it was always going to be your favorite because that's the way your brain was wired. I'm not going to go there. The point is, in constant real time, it did not exist until you discovered it, it exists. Same for your psychology, how everything works. Um, so while truth is always growing, it will never change, if that can make sense. I picture truth as uncovering a sculpture and you don't know what's down there and you're digging, and the more you uncover, um, the more unsure you are of what the whole thing will be, but you don't know. There's like no definition of how far down it goes. I also picture it like a puzzle. um, the way it's a set picture, um, and you have to discover each piece and what it looks like and what its shape is and fit it in with certain paths of logic. And eventually, when you discover the whole truth, it gives you a nice picture. Or horrible, depending on the truth you find out. Truth seems to be made up of several components. One you could call laws of physics, um, which are the ones that never change. Um, Another one you could call perspectives, which are always changing. And then you could call material, like the things around you that are truth. And I'm not going to delve into the matrix idea yet, but just for the sake of argument, when you think, therefore you are thinking about the things around you, which are truth. Which, when you put faith into something, like when you sit down in a chair, you don't fall over. It is truth that you are not falling over currently. Um, Ironically, truth is made up of how people see it as well as its static nature, but it does not kowtow to their will. Just because part of truth is how they see it, does not mean it is the whole truth. It is just their perspective. And it's truth that what they think they saw is correct. Although that can also change, but it might be correct in the current state until they realize that they are wrong because they remember something else. But that other thing that they remembered is still true, as well as the thing that they were thinking until they realized it was false. Try to keep up. That is why truth is my favorite. Even though it's absolute, it is also growing. So the truth of perspectives, how when one person sees something a certain way, it is truth to them, and it is technically truth that they see it that way, but their lie is not truth, only the way that they think they see it, because it's in their own mind. Um, Whereas, kind of like how witnesses, when police question them and they have a whole bunch of different scenarios or perspectives of it, some people are completely wrong, um, but it's more of the idea that their perspective and the way that they see it is true because they believe it's true. A good way to explain it would be um, inside someone's mind, it is true the way they think something is, but is not true the way they think something is does not match up with reality. For instance, when policemen take records or statements from witnesses and it happens that some of them conflict, they may think they may think they are telling the right thing, but in fact are incorrect because of their false perspective. But it can also alter because they can remember, oh, that was not correct. So even though the truth changes, it grows, but it will never erase the past where they thought that was truth at one point. Kind of, you know? So that's why honesty is such a big deal, because it keeps society functioning. And also, there is a smaller idea around it, is truth um, in society at its best is like when you would lend someone something and you knew they were good for it. And that's also a factor of society, is when people use someone's integrity as currency, which is why integrity is society's greatest currency. Because without people being truthful, without people being honest, you'll notice a lot of people are schemers, a lot of people love money, and they will rip you off just to get a few extra dollars. Sometimes dollars they don't even need because they're doing so well. Um, I've noticed this a lot in my life, but that's why integrity is so important, which will be in a couple more videos. I've already started writing that one. That's why honesty and truth is so important. Otherwise, You can't trust anyone, and you'll notice how there's so many laws, especially the weird laws that make no sense because they couldn't trust someone in a very specific situation. In order to make sure that situation never happened again, they made a law like, oh, you can't go outside past this certain time with a bass drum and start jamming away at certain time in the morning or something like that. And these weird laws, I'm sure many of you have looked them up. If not, look them up. Some of them are really funny. There's also really dirty ones too, so careful about that. But it's the loss of value of truth that really hits hard at any society. If someone does not value truth, they'll be willing to do anything to support themselves and won't care about anyone else because they themselves are their truth. Um, Thank you for watching. I hope this has been as fun for you as it is for me. I'm glad that you chose this video, and I hope it was insightful. Um, Go ahead and please let me know what you think. Subscribe if you want. Have fun, or don't. You'll be missing out on so many great things. um, Thank you, and God bless. And I hope you enjoyed another episode of Pie. Oh, I hope you enjoyed another piece of the pie. Ha 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 ha.